to my channel, period. As you can see, we're in a different, you know, environment where we're not home. We're not home. As you can tell by the title, I am going to be doing a video describing and just talking about my experience solo traveling. Before I get into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Keep watching if you want to know about solo travel, like my experience solo traveling, my opinion on it, and just like tips and advice that I have for solo traveling, because I get a lot of people like, how did you do it? I want to, but I'm scared, blah blah blah. I got y'all, don't worry. So for my 23rd birthday, I stayed at Sunscape Apple Mall in Tulum, Mexico. I stayed there for like a Thursday through a Sunday, I think, right? And I had the best time ever. When I was telling people that I was doing it, so originally I didn't really tell many people until I got back. My family knew, my friends knew, but not many people knew that I was doing a solo trip out the country. I just felt like I don't know, something about it just seemed like I would be safer that way. Me personally, I enjoy being alone anyway. I feel like I thrive better alone sometimes. So I knew that I was gonna have fun. The main question that I get from people is like, weren't you scared? And honestly, no. I wasn't scared because one, like I said, I enjoy being alone anyway, and two, I knew that this was something that I really wanted to do. Like, I have been wanting to do this for a very long time, and I did this. It's now 2023, obviously, so I did this for my 23rd birthday in 2022, and I told myself that I didn't want to end the year without having gone on a solo trip. And my birthday is in December, so I was like, okay, why not? Perfect end to the year. I didn't do any excursions because I was alone, and it was my first time traveling alone. Well, my first time traveling, like doing a solo trip alone. Like, I've traveled alone, but I was always meeting other people there. That time was my first time traveling alone, period. Sorry if I talk fast, y'all. My mom tells me that I talk fast and that I mumble sometimes, so I'm gonna try to be as clear and enunciate as best as possible. So I have 5 little tips that I want to share about solo traveling, and I'm sure I have more. I kind of just wrote these down really quick. I am currently on a trip right now, and I'm waiting for the restaurant to open, so I just decided, let me record, let me get back in my YouTube bag. I'm gonna share my 5 tips for solo traveling. So if I keep looking down, if I pick up my phone, I'm not answering text messages, I'm looking at my notes. So let's get into it. Tip number 1 would be research. That is like very important. I feel like to some people it's probably self-explanatory and like obvious, like duh, why wouldn't I research? But I feel like me, I'm a very impulsive person, right? And if I find a place that I want to go, and if it don't cost that much, or if the cost looks valid to me, I'm just gonna book it. Like, I'm a very impulsive person, but with something like this, especially if it's your first time, I feel like it's very important that you research as much as you possibly can. TikTok, YouTube, and Google were my 3 best friends when planning my solo trip for my birthday, right? So I would say research like places you want to travel, whether that be different countries, different states, whatever. Research places that you want to travel, and have like different options, you know. So originally I was gonna do Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico is still part of the United States, so that's why I was gonna do it, but they don't have any all-inclusive resorts, so, or at least I couldn't find any. I looked it up, and there was a website that said that they don't, and they explained why they don't, but I don't remember what it said. I would have to find it. Then I was like, okay, what about the US Virgin Islands? Because you don't need a passport for US Virgin Islands either. But then I also couldn't find all-inclusives there, and I was really big on having an all-inclusive since it was, again, my first solo trip. I didn't want to have to Uber different places in like a different country, or I just didn't want to do that, you know what I mean? And I'm not really a fan of cooking on vacation. Sorry to those that are. If it's like a little road trip or something, like, okay, cool. But like, if I'm on vacay, girl, if you want to bring me to a restaurant, y'all can cook for me, but I just don't want to cook. So that's why, another reason why I was really big on having an all-inclusive, because I didn't want to have to go to the grocery store, buy food, come back, cook it, you know. And I'm also a very extra person, so I would have bought the entire store and had mad food in the Airbnb, had mad food in the hotel room or whatever, just sitting there after, you know. research places that you want to travel and have options. Other things to research that I'm going to get into afterwards. I have down like cost, obviously, activities, crime rate, tourist areas, things like that are really important for solo traveling. As far as cost, when I went to Mexico, it was a little bit over $600 for my all-inclusive resort, including transportation to and from the airport the day I arrived and the day I was leaving. So if you've ever been to Mexico, Mexico's airport is very hectic. But they have like a bunch of shuttles lined up when you go outside or whatever, and so I made sure to set up a ride so that I didn't have to figure that out once I got there. There was like a little bit of an issue with my ride once I got there, but it was resolved fairly quickly, which I was very grateful for. And I was able to, you know, get on the shuttle. They brought me to my resort. Cool. Transportation is something that's very important when solo traveling, especially like if you're going to another country. You definitely want to look that up. Do they have Ubers available? If they don't have Ubers available, what is available? How much are their cabs? Because another thing in Mexico is like their cab drivers kind of make up their prices, and so they can definitely tax you if they really want to. Next tip I have for solo traveling is the resources that's available. So if you're going out of the country, are you staying at an all-inclusive? If you are staying at an all-inclusive, what is included? Because sometimes you'll go to an all-inclusive and food is included but drinks aren't, or breakfast is included but nothing else is. If you're doing a hotel, okay, what are your amendment? I can never say this word. What is available at the hotel? That A word. Amenities. I think amenities. I think that's how you say that. The one I'm at right now has breakfast, but there's a breakfast option that is included and there's a breakfast option that is not included. So I don't know. I don't got that. I don't know what is in which, like, you know, they probably got pancakes in the not included price, but in the price that is included is probably just corn muffins and coffee or something. You gotta be on your P's and Q's when you're traveling, period. But when you're solo traveling, you have to be on your elemental P's and the Q's. If you're doing an Airbnb, what's in the area? Like, how far is the nearest grocery store? How far is the nearest gas station? How far is the nearest like corner store? Or how far is the nearest like fast food restaurant if you need something to eat late at night? You know, things like that. The next one I have down is safety. So when I was traveling to Mexico, and when I told everybody I was traveling to Mexico, everybody was very stressed about my safety, because if you know, you know. And my birthday is in December, like I said, and so at the time that was like when the Shabuela case had just happened, and so a lot of people were concerned for my safety, which I get. I definitely get. It's my first solo trip. I'm traveling out the country. That was only my second time out the country. My first time out the country was with a large group of people. I had never been to Mexico before. That was my first time going to Mexico. So it's very understandable why people would have been nervous for my safety. But again, like I said, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. So I wasn't gonna let that, you know, like deter me from doing what I want to do. They have different rules, they have different laws down there. Their locals are different, their way of life is just different, so you really never know what you're getting into. And I feel like something like that you're best gonna find on TikTok. Like Google, they're gonna give you some tea, but TikTok is gonna give you the tea. Okay, how safe is it for tourists? So like, I don't know if y'all know, but like going to Jamaica, that was my first time out the country, and that was with a group of people. But going to Jamaica, people are like, be careful, don't leave the resort because the locals be wilding. Even in Mexico, don't leave the resort because the locals be wilding. The police be wilding in Mexico. When we left the resort in Jamaica, we still went to touristy spots. So like we went to like clubs and stuff like that, but they were Americanized clubs. Like it was all tourists there. The next tip that I have for solo traveling is like figure out your activities. Make sure you have everything planned out. That's literally what I have right here. I literally have it down. Plan out everything to the minute if you need to, literally, because that's the type of person I am. Let me show you. Hold on. This is my handy dandy iPad. This is how I plan out. Oh, it's not gonna focus. This is how I plan out like my stuff for trips. There it goes. So like when I'm packing and everything, I have to write everything down. Literally, there it is. This was my for my birthday trip. Like I am a very anal person when it comes to trips and packing and stuff like that. So especially for big trips, so plan everything out to the T if you need to, literally. Activities, what is there to do, how much does everything cost, what do you feel comfortable doing? Because I feel like there's things that you would feel comfortable doing in a group, and there's things that you would feel comfortable doing alone, and there's things that you would not feel comfortable doing in either settings. Me, I didn't do it. I think I said this earlier, I didn't do any excursions. I wasn't really good with it. Oh, sorry mom. If you're staying on an all-inclusive resort, 9 times out of 10 there's gonna be stuff happening at the resort. So like there's gonna be little shows and little like activities and stuff like that, and some of them might be corny depending on the type of resort you're staying at. Like if it's like a family resort, or if it's like a all ages resort, some of them might be corny to you or whatever, but like, so what, go have fun. You're by yourself. That's the point of the trip, for you to have fun doing whatever you want to do. Again, TikTok, YouTube, Google. TikTok again for the activities is probably going to be like your best, your safest bet to figure out what really is fun, what really is safe, what, you know, what it really gives. The last tip that I have for solo traveling is really just have fun. Be safe, but just have fun. Like if something seems fishy, if something seems off, don't second guess yourself. Go with your gut and get the. Don't think I just randomly woke up one day and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Mexico by myself. I build up to this. If you're like me and you know that this is something that you really want to do, then do it. Literally just do it. We only have one life to live, and the life is not ours. This life is not ours, it's his. We all belong to him, and when he says, yep, time for you to skedaddle, you've done what I needed you to do, it's time for you to come on home, then you literally have no say in that. You have to go. So why live the one life you have to live, the one life that you don't know when it's gonna end? Why live it unhappily? Why live it according to somebody else's standards? Why live it doing what other people want you to do, or doing what other people want to do? Why not do what you want? You have to live this life for however long God wants you to. Why would you spend every single day unhappy? On purpose. On purpose. Do whatever makes you happy, literally, and don't psych yourself out either. Like I said, if something seems off, if something seems fishy, and you're getting like second guesses because something just doesn't seem right, okay, that's different. But don't be like, oh my gosh, when I get to the airport, somebody's gonna kill me. And life and death is the power of the tongue. You gotta watch what you say, because as soon as you put it out there, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Have fun, enjoy life. So much to see, so much to do, so go do it. If y'all want a part 2 on my opinion on solo traveling, my tips for solo traveling, I'm pretty sure I have more. If you want more information about where I solo traveled, let me know, and I will gladly share that. I'm trying to get back in my YouTube bag, y'all, so hype up a little bit. Gas me up, turn me up. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, please, thank you. Follow me on Instagram. So I got a few, so I'm gonna list them all for you. Ready? Boom. We got Just Like Jor, JUSTLIKEJOR. You have bodiedbeauty.nails, that's BODIEDBEAUTY.NAILS. That's my business page. Then you also have the Girls Garden. We haven't been there in a while, and I understand, but we have that as well. That's GIRLS.GARDENN. Period. I'll leave them on the screen. I'll leave them down below. All that good stuff. I'm about to go eat. I'm hungry.